So Pokemon. Everybody knows Pokemon, right? Pocket monsters. That's the idea. Poke-e-mon. It's actually, they're using French there in the middle. So this is a Wristémon. Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. I hope you've survived the dad joke to get into the review of a product that's actually pretty damn legit. Monster has been making audio products and mobile products and stuff for a little while now. They've done quite well with their Bluetooth in-ear sets, with them being like individual and, you know, starting at like 300-400 Rand, you know, for a full wireless set of like AirPod kind of things. It's a lot cheaper than if you were to go and buy those premium sets, and the quality difference is not that far apart that you could substantiate like a 5 times the price. Like Monster's price versus performance is exceptionally good. So when they handed me a smartwatch at Evetech, I was like, Monster makes a smartwatch now? Well, this is going to be interesting, and it has been exactly that. So what do you get in the box? Here's the packaging. It is quite nicely done, and then this sits inside of there with the watch on its own little like stand jobby, and then you've got your quick start guide for how to connect it to your phone and stuff, and the app and all that sort of pertinent information is in here. So it's a step-by-step guide, and then the charger as well, which is magnetically attached. It can literally only attach in one orientation as well, so you literally can't mess it up, and then it just magnetically attaches to the phone and really attaches. Like, it's super strong. It's very Apple-esque, the charger with the magnetic setup. The wrist or the wrist strap, at least the wrist strap is really nice. It's pliable and soft, and it's made from like a super silicone type of thing. Also looks quite easy to replace because there's just 2 solid prongs on either side, and then there's like a quick release kind of system over here for you to do a strap replacement if you do need to. So that's kind of a nice little touch. Then on the front of the device is a really pretty high resolution screen. It's got like 448 ppi. It's 320 by 240, if I remember correctly. I'll put the exact size up on the screen, but a very high pixel density, really nice screen on this, and considering that's kind of the whole point of the watch, you would hope so, right? And then around the back, there's a couple of sensors in here, like really pretty cool ones, because this phone, or this watch, at least this phone, the smart device, can read your BPM. It reads your steps accurately as well. I tried to mess it up and it literally wouldn't do it. And it also reads your O2 levels in your bloodstream, which is kind of sick. It also measures your distance with the location setting on and with the app. And this is really a really good sports watch. That's kind of the idea here. But it's got like so many other add-on features built into it. But that's the physical device. Now I'm gonna change up the camera angle to give you a closer look at those functions on the watch. Let's have a look at some of those functions, shall we? So pushing the side button on the side will give you the main sort of menu monitor or that kind of screen, and then from there you can go through, you know, you swipe left and then you can go through all the functions and stuff. So we have activity data on the top that will track for your current day. Then we have our workout, which will have no records because I haven't done any workouts because I'm lazy. Then you can go to the workout records so you can see if they're there and what your previous was. Your heart rate monitoring is active on this. Obviously, it's not going to monitor anything when the device isn't around my wrist, but you've got your blood oxygen level as well. So it's just giving you my last reading, which was 98%. Then it's got your sleep cycle as well in here, which is really nice. And you can see the difference between deep and light sleep periods and how much you got. As you can see, last night I had a cracker. That's why I'm full of energy today. Then moving on, you've got breath training as well, which is super sick. So you can do breath training with it as well. You've got all your messages and stuff, so you can see your unchecked and that sort of stuff, to see what or who. You can obviously see my boy Kaz spamming me, normal. You can control your music and stuff from here. It is a little bit delayed, but it's fine. It's more than comfortable if you're running and stuff that you would change it. And you can do your find phone, which you can hear is rather loud. So if you do lose your phone, it's even got a find phone function. Alarm clock is dependent on your alarms and stuff. I just run them from my phone. Then you've got your timer and your stopwatch settings, which is also cool. You can add and increase the time on that. And then stopwatch is just the default stopwatch. So if you just start, you know, and you're running and that sort of stuff, and you hit pause, if I can actually touch it, there we go. Perfect, on 5 seconds. What are the chances of that? And you can reset, you know, it's got all the normal sort of functionality from that. It's a little bit hard to touch stuff properly when I'm looking at it through the camera lens. I do apologize. Alrighty, so in the device settings, there's a couple of cool things you can do. Obviously, language and that sort of stuff are defaults. Let me just go back in here because the timeout on the screen is set to a whole 10 seconds. So let's just go back into, oops, we don't want to be there. There we go. You just swipe to the right if you want to go back, and you're back where you are. So the QR code is kind of cool because you could just scan that to download the application. Then in your system, you can reset, you can shut down the device, and you can check your system info for your MAC address and your firmware version and all of that goodly stuff to make sure, you know, you're connected to the right device and not to someone else's. You can change your vibration intensity, you can change the auto lock time. So I've got it currently set on 10 seconds just to help with that battery life. Because of generally I'm done with stuff in about that time. It does give you a warning for you increasing it. And then your clock, right? I've chosen for always on digital clock to be there, an analog clock, so that's always on, so I can just look at it without having to go back. Then, like I say, you can change your dial switches over here. So I downloaded that version just because I thought it looked cool. These are some of the defaults. So when you download them to the phone, then they stay in the phone's memory. I just really like that one because it gave the heart rate and steps and everything. Let me just get in focus. There we go. Heart rate and steps and all of that lovely stuff is right there on the screen with the temperature, etc. So I opted in for that one. So with a touch of a button. Sorry guys, I'm just being spammed in the middle of trying to do a review. I do, guys, man. Go back. Here we go. So as you can see, it's got my calories, got my heart rate, it's got my steps for the day, temperature and the battery life all on the one screen with a date and everything. Quite nicely done. And it looks kind of Half-Life 2-esque, which is pretty sick. But yeah, that's, I mean, you can see the device is super comprehensive. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff on the app quickly. So in this app is where things get extremely interesting for me. So as you can see, I've done 395 steps today. Shows me my average heart rate for the day and that sort of stuff, my sleep and everything. But here you can record, like you can record all of your information, put in your weight and all of that sort of stuff, and actually record all of your workouts and stuff to the actual device. So per day you can see for that information. So heart rate, so to give you an example, that day I was fine, I was having a good day. But if I go over here to a stressful day, like the first, then you'll see when I was doing a little bit of walking and some exercise to try and get my heart rate up. But the next day I wasn't. This was just a if I just go to the second quickly, you'll see that's just what my adrenaline does to me. It's a lot of fun. It's great. It's always a good time. Kind of thing. But it's cool that you can see for every day, like your activity and your heart rate monitoring and all of that kind of stuff. Like all of it stashed in your device, even your sleep stuff. So I've had the sleep monitoring going for a few days. So if I go back to this day, you'll see I didn't have as good a sleep kind of thing. And then it shows me deep versus light. And then same thing for this day, also not a great day. But then obviously last night, I hit a big one. Check them, what? Over 2.5 hours of deep sleep. No wonder I'm full of beans. But anyway, I think you get the point. The app and the device and everything and the way it all works is super, super sick. Anyway, back to the studio. So as you can see, it's what I would call a myriad of things. All the messaging and alerts and all of that lovely stuff right here on your watch. You don't have to take your phone out of your pocket. If you're driving or something and someone sends you a message, you can literally, while driving, just have a look and go back to what you were doing. It kind of becomes like a hands-free kit in a way. The BPM, the heart rate monitoring, is like one of the best things ever, because you can, for instance, if you're like me and you've got like an adrenal issue, as you've seen with my graph, where sometimes my heart rate just stays up, you can even take that info to your doctor or your physician and show them that data over weeks worth of it. You can stash everything to your phone, do all of your workouts and stuff, and get your information for your time and your distance and all of that sort of stuff. So it's got full tracking for the sporting individual. This is really, really good for sport people. Splash proof as well. As I said, I've had it on my wrist for, I think, literally, like I said, about 12 days, showering, washing hands, carrying on, doing absolutely everything with it on, as if I was, living and owning the device, because that's more what we're about here, is having like experience on the channel. And I think the price versus performance is really, really solid. And I'm especially impressed with the battery life. Their quotation of 30 days is very realistic. I've had it on for 12 with notifications and all kinds of stuff. And I think at this point, I've only used about 10, maybe. Let's have a look, because we can actually go in here quickly.
Few moments later.
Sorry, there's just so many menus and sub-menus. If I can just swipe up, there we go. I've used 20% in 12 days, and I've had all the notifications and all of that sort of stuff pumping. So it will do everything as advertised. Even got a flipping torch in it. Like, it's comprehensive. It's more than what you would need from a normal smartwatch, I think, and especially if you are active and doing sports and exercise. It's a really cool tool to just track everything to your phone, and then you can upload it and reshare it, as it were, from there. Anywho, that's all I have for you in this review. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side. This is a Wristémon.